All right, welcome back. Welcome to Talking Investing. I'm Tom. George is not here yet. I'm not sure if he's going to join me. I let him know I'm doing this live stream. What I really want to do today is do my daily Bitcoin update and the Bitcoin miners. I was going to do a video, but it was going to be like 9 o'clock before it got edited and out. And today was such a big day. I wanted to walk through everything that happened and look at where we might be going next. This has been, I also updated a bunch of my charts today for this week's activity because things have shifted around a lot. So it's been a huge week. Today was a huge day. Let me know if you guys can see me. I feel like it's possible that you cannot. Hold, please. I'm going to get technical support because whatever I've done, it's not. Hold, please. All right, can you guys see me? I got tech support here, so I'm trying this one more time. If you can see me, just leave a comment in the chat. I tried this already once, but double checking. Can I fix this to minute?
There's a high Tom.
That's just somebody.
All good?
All good. Does all good mean I'm here?
We're live again. Yep, we're good. We're here.
All right, I don't know what happened. Was I live before and I just didn't realize it?
I think you might have just been muted, maybe?
Possibly. All right. Hold, please.
All right.
All right, thank you. Thank you. All right, so I don't know what happened. I thought I was live, and then nothing was going on. So I don't know if the chat was stuck, because now all of a sudden I just got a million chats at the exact same time. So let me try to catch up. But anyway, if you did not hear what I said, usually I do my daily Bitcoin and Bitcoin miner update as a video, and I post it. But by the time I got done updating all of the extra charts I wanted to go through and get in today's video, it was late enough that I just figured let's just do it live, talk together. So this was a huge day. Hey, and I did invite George, and he is here. So welcome, George. We just got up and running.
What do you just want to take? He wants to rub more salt in the wound, guys. That's what he is trying to do. Yes, I'm the idiot that gave you the beautiful run today.
We were going to do
a Cleanspark
2-hour Cleanspark only live stream. That's
yep, that was me. I'm the dumbest man around.
Not true. Not true. Not true. You can't look back. You made money on the trade.
Yeah, I know. I don't think I've ever seen that happen before, ever, Tom.
What?
That much of a freaking just... It's on, huh?
Welcome to 2021. For those of you, and I know a lot of you were already with me on the channel by then. So, and I'm sure a lot more of you were on your own during 2020, 2021, but 2021, like, yes, this is an unbelievably good day, so I'm not going to disrespect the outstanding day, but we had 30 of these. More. Probably more. It was insane. And you'd have 2 or 3 of these in a row. So imagine a stock up 25%, and then the next day it's up 30%, and then the next day it's up 18%. I mean, that kind of a run multiplied on top of each other, that's what was going on, and it feels like it's starting to happen again. That's why I updated some charts. I usually do these charts on the weekend, but we've had so much activity this week already that I updated them all. But by the time I got done updating them, it was too late for me to record a video, edit a video, and upload it. So that's why we're live for yet a second time in one day. But it's a good day to be live. It's a good day to be alive. It's a good day to be invested in Bitcoin and Bitcoin miners.
It's a good day.
You can smash the like button if you're here. It helps the stream. So I wasn't sure if George, I gave him like 45 seconds notice.
I'm going to get yelled at too, but I can play as long as I'll play as long as they'll let me.
It's longer than I thought. I knew, I'll try. But George showed up. Let's see. Let me try to catch up.
Look at that, Tom. We just got an invite.
What kind of invite?
To South Africa. Hopefully it's Johannesburg.
That's a long trip.
Yeah, I wonder how long that would be.
Jeff, shout out
George,
to tech support.
Please help Bitfarm.
You got to buy it and then sell it.
That's so funny. I made my $250 on any today. Woohoo!
Hey, that's just the beginning. So I don't know what happened. I guess I was live. I thought I was. Everything looked all set up, but you know me. I make so many times I think I've done everything right, and I think I'm live. And there was a time George and I talked for 20 minutes. We thought we were on a live stream, and we weren't. So I had no comments whatsoever. So, and I was saying if anybody can see me. So I thought I was not live, but I'm not sure. Maybe I was.
No comments. Uh-oh.
Darren said, no, George, I want to congratulate you for buying any today. Now, hopefully, Tom changes your trading password. Just buy it and hold it. I was looking at any again at the end of the day today. I'm very happy with that purchase.
Well, give it time, guys. Give it time. I'll get frustrated.
Miner Doc said, this is a typical day in November and December of 2020. Yep.
A typical day. Oh, it's taken so long. And you've talked about it. You know what I mean? It's just been forever.
Well, and that is the hard part.
What is it? What's the statement again?
The
patience for blah, 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 and your money will soon disappear. The market can outlive your patience or something like that. Something
about the market can be irrational for longer than you can remain liquid. If I saved the last, I don't think you can save the comments. But somebody corrected me and said the actual, but it's something to that effect.
Oh, Cape Town. I like Cape Town. Oh, sorry.
Ron Ben said, Tom, do you have any take profits strategy ? So for me personally, what I do to try to set myself up so that I can take some profits on these runs, because I do not like selling my stock. I have a bunch of call options, and most of them are on Bitfarms just because of the extremely low premiums that they were charging on Bitfarms call options. So I have been starting to unload those now. I'm hoping this runs for, another week. I still have the majority of those options. I did sell a tiny little bit of my Riot position the other day, and
you took a little profit?
Well, I took 3% out of Riot, and that's what I bought my Yenny with. So I didn't take it out of the market, But I feel like, you know, Riot is, you're going to see when I show you the chart, you're going to fall down on how much Riot is up so far just this year to date. So
Really?
I think it was fair to take profits. And any has not even begun its run. So I felt like that was a good shift. I didn't remove it from the market. I don't think we're at the top yet, but there's a lot of ambiguous signals right now. So I'm not as thoroughly confident that the next leg is up. I am expecting some type of retest at this point now. We've kind of gone, the last time we didn't really retest anything. We got to go sideways. It was for a long time, but so I know that was hard, but we didn't, like, this whole time was sideways. So that was 3 weeks. So, you know, usually in this type of a time period, after you just had, we had a massive run up here. So, you know, you feel like, all right, now you're going to go back. This was a really important line of resistance, and you can see we bumped into this and then broke through it. And then we just ran right up to the next line, and we never retested this line at 25.2. So still now, we've now, you know, run past this line, and so maybe we're not going to retest this line. However, I'm not writing that off. I do think that is still on the table, even though I think we're going up from here and the run is not over by any means. At some point, it is just normal to have a little bit of a pullback and a retest. So I feel like we're a little bit on borrowed time, but yet when I look at the one-day RSI and the MACD, it looks to me like we could, you know, maybe do this again, go a little sideways and then run up again. So it's hard to say. Nobody knows. So Darren said, I bought a bunch of calls June 2023, $7 on Riot and $2.50 on CleanSpark, sitting in massive gains. Very nice. Yeah, with CleanSpark, you got to do the 250s. I mean, that's they go in $2.50 increments. That George is taking either a break or he might be gone. This was totally impromptu, and I did give him like 30 seconds notice on it. So, and he live streamed with us for hours. Anyway, you can see this is the 4 hour. Where'd the 1 day go? Yeah. So, I mean, I'm just going to do this quick. Like, that's where we're at right now. So, from November 21st until right this second, we are up 97%. Earlier in the day, you can see on this daily candle, we got all the way up just under 99%. So, we are knocking on the door. That yellow line that you see right there would be a 100% move up in Bitcoin. So, we know Bitcoin does this. So, it's not like this is unprecedented or shocking or any of those things. We know Bitcoin does this, and we've kind of just been waiting and waiting and waiting. So now I drew this line here. I wasn't even going to draw it. This is the 100% to the upside line from the bottom in November. And I said, man, if I put that on here, it's like a kind of a jinx. But I put it on anyway. So we'll see when we cross it. But you can see we did have a good day today. Tariq, thank you very much. Let's see. Celebrating the first super chat from Tariq. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly. Thank you very much for the super chat. Much appreciated. All right. Let's see. Anyone still buying or waiting to see where we go from here? Eagle 3 saying you can't buy and hold. Maybe they may be talking about options. Eagle 3, I thought this was about Bitcoin mining. It's about this is about Bitcoin mining stocks. So we look at Bitcoin and the Bitcoin mining stocks in particular on this stream. We talk about everything under the sun, but you know, right now what I had set up and in mind is I updated a lot of my info, and I wanted to go through the Bitcoin miners because this was an unbelievable day. The market can be, thank you, Jacob. The market could be irrational for longer than you can be solvent. For some reason, I will never remember those words correctly.
Me either. I will not. How Beam do?
I didn't even look at Beam today. Here, let's see if Beam's on my... Beam up 1.68%. Oh, I can take Volta off my list. They are gone.
Oh, they're gone?
Nikola bought Volta for pennies. So they're gone. And now next, Nikola, you know, they bought Volta and then they're going to be gone too, I imagine. Not financial advice. I don't know that for a fact. But let's see what they're doing because they're not doing very well. 96 cents. They were down 2.3% today. So... it was, you know, for the rest of the stock market, you know, we were living the dream today in Bitcoin miner land, but the rest of the stock market did have a decent day, but, you know, it wasn't insanity. Let's get to a fresh page.
Yeah, so today I lost a new car.
What do you mean? Oh,
by on CleanSpark.
You didn't...
By being out of CleanSpark, I lost a new car.
You didn't lose a new car. You just didn't earn a new car like you would have had you left your investment alone. It's... It might feel like the same thing, but it's not the same thing.
That's
Darren
funny.
said...
Go ahead. Sorry, go.
Darren's buying any today, so he's with us. I think Annie's ready for a run, and when I get to my chart that I just updated, you'll see it's still overdue. CleanSpark did some massive catching up this week. I think it's still underpriced, but Annie is just getting going right now, in my opinion.
Gary, that I didn't want to tell you guys, but that is Anthony Power. He is in the stream. He's in the chat. We let him go in the chat today. That's him. He's doing an analysis. Love his reports also. Where's
Bill Murray? We haven't seen him in a long time.
Yeah, where's Bill Murray? It's funny.
He left us.
Hey, Dustin, at least you got in. Dustin got in at the breakout of CleanSpark at 380.
JP Media said, nice call on CleanSpark. I had my doubts for a while, but you proved me wrong. Well,
I don't want Mike. I don't want to tell everybody why I left. I got out of CleanSpark yesterday. There was a good reason why I got out. You want to hear it?
Do you want to tell it?
I'll tell it. I mean, I'll tell it. There's two reasons. One, it's a new quarter for the moon, right?
Okay, we got some lunar activity. Is Seth out there?
Yeah, I mean, I know it's crazy, but I thought, and then other thing was, I thought that Ethereum thing could have made Bitcoin go the other way. And I don't know if that's shaken out yet.
Those things never, ever, ever go the way that you would think that they would go. So I thought the same thing, but I thought it would just be contained to Ethereum, but instead the opposite.
I don't know. Did you guys pay attention and see Bitcoin plummet around 8 o'clock last night? I was like, see, Tom, I was right.
Oh, you were feeling right for a half an hour, and then
I said, but wait, 9 o'clock will come, and next session. That's kind of how the sessions work on Bitcoin, at least I believe so. Is that 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. in the Eastern Standard Time.
Definitely, there seems to be a just before the market opens in the U.S. There's a lot of times there's a major shift, either up or down. You know, whatever the opposite of the trend is. So just to round out, it was a green day in the market. The S&P was up 1.3. The Dow was up over 1%. The Nasdaq was up 1.99%. So call it 2%, and the Russell was up 1.3. The Russell is bizarre now. I'm getting to the point where I look at the Nasdaq and the S&P, and these two aren't really telling me anything anymore. In fact, I'm going to do a poll right now.
What's the poll going to be?
Who follows the Dow?
Not
All
me.
right. Hold on. That's the sound of a super chat I was typing. Oh, all right. Tariq forgot his question. Sorry, forgot my question. Thinking if take profit at all this year on Wolf, would all-time high be at 2024 post-halving? From Dubai. Welcome from Dubai. Thank you. I mean, everybody's got to decide. I will tell you. I know if people are taking profits on Wolf right now, I don't blame them because they just had an unbelievably good week. Having said that, I'm still bullish. I'm really, other than selling 3% of my Riot position, I haven't sold my stocks. I don't plan on selling my stocks. I do some dabbling. That's what maybe you need to do, George. Do some options so that you can get it out of your system. You can buy and sell.
I know that's what I did wrong. As we talked through it, I was like, that was what I did wrong.
It's almost how I do it, because I do feel like when there's these big run-ups, I feel like I should, be taking some kind of profits into that. So a lot of times I will have options in the money or very near the money options on some of the Bitcoin miners, and then I'll start to sell them into a rally. So, I wouldn't blame anybody for taking some profits on Wolf, but for me, I think it's up from here. I like that company. I'm bullish on Wolf, so yeah, and I imagine that.
Well, you know who else is?
Who else is bullish on Wolf?
Paul Prager.
Oh, he were you telling me this? Or?
Yes, I was.
Oh, man, I'm telling you back your own story. He bought stock. Was it today or yesterday?
138 yesterday.
So he's the CEO of Wolf is buying stock. If that tells you anything, that's a very solid, strong move. He's not getting bonus stock or stock options. He's buying it. So. All right, this is a random poll for my own curiosity because I have it's been years since and that used to be the first thing I looked at was how's the Dow for many years, and now it's been maybe a decade. Like the Dow doesn't seem to be telling me anything anymore. So I'm wondering if people look at that and that's one of their, do you look at everything and consider the Dow, or who's just ignoring the Dow at this point?
I meant to click no, but it clicked yes, just so you know.
Mike, we should
The Dow
do a
to
poll.
me seems like it's fuddy-duddy, if that makes any sense.
Well, it is. That's how I feel about it. It's a lot of the, blue chip, what they used to call blue chip stocks. Yeah. There's only 30 stocks that comprise the Dow, and it just doesn't seem to be a representation of. And I think this is true for a lot of retail investors. I don't think the Dow really reflects what retail investors are doing by and large. But tell me if I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Jacob said the Dow is trash. # sorry, not sorry.
Yeah, really. Sorry, not sorry.
FV702 said Tuesday was better. You're saying it was an even better day than today? So it depends on what you're holding, because Tuesday, I saved that chart, so we'll look at that. Tuesday was absolutely phenomenal, and there were a few that were up in the high 20s, but some got there again today. So then in the middle on Wednesday, we had a pullback, and then today, again, massive upside. Wolf.
I'm telling you, Wolf.
So let's go back and look. That was going to be step one. So first, you know what? Let's look at Tuesday first, because FV702 was saying Tuesday was a good day, which is a fact. So this was Monday. If this was a good enough day to be the best day of the week, right? Up 9, 8, 11, 15, 14, 9, 12, 9.8, 9, 16%. So this is Monday. That alone, that usually would be the best day of the week. But then it was followed by Tuesday. Gree up 25%. Wolf up 23%. Stronghold up almost 20%. Core Scientific up 26%. CleanSpark, 14%. Bitfarms, 14.5%. I mean, this was a gigantic monster day. Riot, 17%. Marathon, 12.4%. So, yes, this was a monster day. So, it really depended because today was another monster day. So, I guess it just depended which stock you held. But I will tell you, there was one stock this week, and thank you, JP Media, for pointing that out. I've been waiting. I've been patiently waiting for my CleanSpark. And if you look, CleanSpark was up 11% on Wednesday. Sorry, let me start. Yeah, 11% on Monday. And then 14% on Tuesday. But the real winner was Wednesday was a rough day. I mean, we were mostly red, and a lot of these were really red. CleanSpark kept running even through that. And then, obviously, then we go to today. Everything was up huge. CleanSpark was up 21%, and that wasn't even the best one on the day. GREE, 24%. Stronghold, 23%. Stronghold did not close over $1, so we don't get to count day one yet, but it got over $1 during the day.
Day two for your Bitfarms.
Day two is in the books for Bitfarms, and it puts some pretty nice, solid room between it. I'm not calling it. 10 days is a long time, and Bitcoin does a lot of funny stuff. One big pullback and retest, and all of a sudden it could break the 10 days again, which it's done now 2 other times. I want to look at that.
Oh, that's what I meant to find out. Maybe we could go online. We're probably getting in trouble for this, but maybe we can go online and you can show me where you can look up BlackRock and their positions that they bought. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes. I will do that, but what I want to do is do that offline and then just show everybody online so they don't have to sit here and watch me fumble around to try to find it. But that's an excellent idea.
It is. It's complicated.
Nate, I follow the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P 500. Usually one or the other will lead. Oh, and I follow the DXY. Yeah, I spend more time looking at the DXY lately than anything else, and that's a big. And once again, I'm going to pull it up right now because there was a perfect indicator today. So you can see we got this green line. It seems like this is where the DXY hangs out, right? But it's not. Let me go to the 1 day.
As you're doing that, I have to ask this question. Would you be in shock if Bitfarm went $3 next week?
$3?
Yes.
That would go beyond my expectations.
All right.
I'm
asking for you. 702.
I mean, it depends on what Bitcoin does. You know, if Bitcoin turns around and runs to 40,000 or something, then it could do that or more. I'm certainly not banking on that. I do think 150's overdue for Bitfarms. I think $2 is a very reasonable, short-term price target if the bull run continues. $3 is, that's still. So let me say it this way: that is way less than my ultimate price target for Bitfarms. But getting there in a week, that would be incredible. So just to put in perspective, the DXY, it looks like it's always hanging around up here. It was at 103 and it got up to 114. So this is a measure for those of you who don't know, and I know most of you do, but for those of you who don't, this measures the strength of the dollar against, a basket of other currencies. So this green line was actually a 20-year high for the dollar. So with all the talk, and I'm sure you've seen headline after headline after headline that the dollar is dead, etc., etc., we are sitting here, since April of 2022. We're 1 year into the dollar being at a 20-year high. So we did drop below this one time, and that was in January, and we had a big rally in the stock market in January. So you can see today, all of a sudden, this is the 3rd day in a row that we've had some downward pressure. We're almost back down where we were in January. And what did we have? We had our, the NASDAQ was up 2% today. So there's a definite correlation there. anything can happen on any given day. You know, it's not a perfect one-to-one correlation, but there's a definite correlation. The stock market behaves a lot better down here at the DXY at 101 or 100 or 99. To put it in perspective, these are crazy high numbers. If you look at this chart, I mean, this was hanging out around 90 for a long time, right? And this goes back March of 2020, and we know what happened in March of 2020.
I don't.
See, we've touched this line. Here's December 2016. We've touched this line time and again, but it's 20 years ago since we've broken through it, and then we smashed through it, and the dollar was ridiculously high. So this is not a healthy place, and it's not good. You know, people think, wow, the dollar's super strong. That's extra good for the U.S., but, you know, that's not really true at all, and it's certainly not good for the stock market. It hasn't been good for cryptocurrency, so this return to norm is what I'm calling it on the DXY, I think is a very, very, very bullish sign. So let me know in the comments in the chat if you think that I'm reading that wrong and you guys have a different opinion.
Let's see. Nut. I found Paul Prager's comment. This is exactly what he said, and this was April 11th. I've said it before. I'll say it again. I'm fully aligned with Tara Wolf shareholders. I bought another 100K of shares at market price of 1.37. My belief is Wolf is stronger than ever.
So
just FYI, keep going.
That's the CEO of TeraWolf, stock ticker Wolf, saying that that was yesterday, George?
That was the 11th.
The 11th. So he just bought 100,000 shares?
Yep, on the 11th.
So, I mean, that's a big vote of confidence. Yeah, it's not breaking the bank for him in all likelihood, but that's a very big purchase, and that's a nice vote of confidence to see the CEO of the company buying in at those higher levels. I mean, that's after a huge run-up. He was still confident enough that he said, you know what, after a big run-up, I'm still going to buy more anyway. So, that
is it true? Wait, there's a site, P.S. I just sold Marathon to do it. Okay. Joking. That's a joke, everyone.
Hey, listen.
Marathon
was up 15%, 15.78% today. It had a very nice day. Marathon's had a nice run. So you want me to go to my little chart here that, let's see if I can find it. Okay, so this is this week. Okay, so I updated a bunch of different charts. I couldn't update them all. You know, the market closed at 4, and, you know, I didn't have that much time. But this is from the opening on Monday until the closing on Thursday of this week. You can see Bitcoin's had a very strong week, up 8%. But you're looking at CleanSpark, which was in last place all year. It's up 61% this week. Gree, 55%. TeraWolf is up 52%, and you got the CEO buying stock in the middle of that. But what I really wanted to show is, you know, Riot, which is the largest market cap, that's up 47% this week. Marathon, which is the second largest market cap, that's up 44% this week. I mean, this is a very, very good week. Yes, I know there's been weeks that have been even better than this over the course of time in the middle of a bull run, but this is an A+. We'll see how we close out on Friday, but if these types of numbers can hold, I mean, this is phenomenal. What's the one lagging stock? Argo Blockchain is underperforming Bitcoin. So to me, I think that it's underperforming because I think they don't have a plan and people are not interested in buying. Conversely, Cypher is only up 14% this week, but when I go to the year-to-date, you're going to see I think it's lagging a little behind this week because it's up so much already this year that, you know, it took a breather this week while some of the other things ran and started to catch up to it. And I'll go and look at that right now because... So this is from January 1st until the close of business today. You're going to see Cypher is up 373%. So yeah, this week wasn't its best week, but if you've been holding Cypher, that's 373% since January 1st. The run is bigger than that if you count from the bottom a couple of weeks earlier. DigiHost is up over 400%. Core Scientific's up over 500%. That's a 6x. So this, I really wanted to show this chart because I can't tell you how many times I have been, let's just say, gotten negative comments in the comments section. Oh, you always talk about 5x's. Those aren't real. That's misleading and wrong. And it's like, well, here, this is a 6x. And by the way, this is only in 3.5 months. 504% is a 6x. 414% is a 5x. Riot Blockchain, which is the biggest market cap out of all of them, is a 4x. This year.
Thanks, Ricky.
3.5 months. So I like to show this because I think it's important. You know, this doesn't always happen, but when it does, this is what I've been talking about. So for all the people that said, you know, my thumbnails are clickbait, this is a 6x right here. We already got one. We got a 6x, a 5x, a 4x. We got a bunch of 3x's, and that's in 3 months. And these aren't on options. This is on the stock. So it's been a good year. You can see this is also, so you got a tale of two different companies, in my opinion. I'm just buying into any right now. You'll see it's lagging way behind Bitcoin. I think this is the next CleanSpark as far as taking the run up. Argo Blockchain is lagging way behind Bitcoin. I don't have confidence in this. So, you know, that's my personal opinion. So if you guys hold this, you may know better or different or whatever. But for me, I think there's a reason this one's lagging. This one, I think, has not caught on yet, and it's yet to have its run. But you can see almost every single one of these two are up 93%. The rest are up somewhere between 100 and 500%.
And Mike, I don't drink, so I need your prayers.
FV702, thank you very much for the super chat. Core's about to run way more than that. So you've got already a 6x, and FV702 is saying that's only just getting started. So, and I don't disagree because it's less than a $200 million market cap company. If they do their thing and get out of this. Methodical, thank you. Super chat, big time. Much appreciated.
Big shout out to Tony Powers.
Shout out to Anthony Power. Good to see you here.
It is good to see him here.
We get lots of good visitors here. And
well, what was crazy
extra
was when,
shout out to Methodical. Thank you very much, and FE702.
All right.
Thank you as well.
What was crazy was when Frank Holmes, joined and is a member. I thought that was cool.
We've
he goes,
had,
yeah. Isn't that funny? I thought it was funny. He goes, yeah, that was me.
We've had a lot of people from a bunch of these Bitcoin mining companies join us and chat with us on the live stream. So that's totally awesome.
Yeah.
And we've gotten a chance to talk to Frank a bunch of times off, in interviews and other things. Sandy's Eclipse said 2 streams in a day. What's going on? So this stream, I kind of got forced into. This was going to be my daily Bitcoin and Bitcoin miner update. And it was such a huge day. I wanted to make sure to get this out. But I also wanted to update all these charts. So by the time I got done updating all these charts, it was too late for me to then do a video, edit a video, and upload a video. It wasn't going to get out until 8 o'clock tonight. So I said, you know what? Let's just do it live with everybody, especially since this was today, and it was awesome. So,
Tom, Ron has a question for you. Why do you
away.
think Annie is due for a run? Question mark, question mark, question mark. Those extra 2 question marks, Ron, they were from me.
Those you over exaggerated
Yes.
the question markness. So so this is only one reason, and I'm gonna add some more reasons to it. But this is one of the things I do these charts to try to point out. Sometimes things jump out when you do this. You look at this and you go, wait a second. There's 2 stocks that are just grossly underperforming the rest of the Bitcoin mining stocks. Are these bad companies? Is that why? Because sometimes there's a reason stocks underperform. I look at I look at their balance sheet. It's very strong. I look at their plan of getting their miners online and up and running. They're just doing that right now. So, you know, they're going to go from less than a half an exahash to 1.5 exahash in the course of 2 months. And one of those months is the month we're in right now. So I expect the April update for Any to be and they do monthly updates, and they've done them all along, even when they were only mining 12 or 15 Bitcoin. When the new CEO came in, they had a different mindset, and you could see it. And so they shaped up their balance sheet. They got rid of all the nonsense plans. They stopped with the Gatorade machine, and I think they're a serious company. So I think, you know, to some extent, I understand the market saying, hey, now you got to show me because you did a bunch of weird stuff last year. So I think that's what's happening. But I think Any's about to show the market that they're going to execute their plan. And again, strength of balance sheet. I like their balance sheet.
Tom, you want to know what did it for me? What you said about Any?
What?
They're not profitable, but they make money mining. What was the statement you said exactly? You said something about they have a reasonable cost per coin for mining.
Yeah, their cost per coin is good. Their overhead's low. I mean, I like the whole. I like what I'm seeing there. I like that's a transformation. It's a different company. It's a company that I never would have invested in a year ago. And you can watch. I mean,
we called it at $10.
Yeah, that thing was a train wreck. You could see it coming a mile away. It happened, but now I see a different company there. So we'll see. Time will tell. I don't think I'm alone. I think a lot of the members and subscribers have weighed in on the chat and said they're kind of on the same page, and they're looking for Any to make a run as well. So
Tom,
we'll see.
What do you think from Kevin? What do you think of the fear and greed index with Bitcoin? So
the fear and greed index, I got this up. I think it's showing we're still heading into a bull market. So this is the crypto fear and greed index, and you're going to see this was super clear, and I talked about this a lot in the past. We got to 6 on the fear and greed index. So just so you know, this has been around for about 4.5 or 5 years. I think there's only been one other day in the history of this index that it's gotten that low. And we spent many days under 10. Like this kind of line that you can see right here, this is at 10, which is extreme, extreme fear. This was in mid-June. I believe this was the bottom. Now, technically, when FTX crashed, we actually went below the June bottoms. In June, we got to about 17.5. When FTX crashed, Bitcoin got to about 15.5. So from that regard, you know, technically, obviously, November was the bottom. But to me, you could see this was max fear. This was when we've never seen this on the fear and greed index. And then, you know, you don't even need a ruler. You can see it with your eyeballs. There's a straight line. There's a straight line here, and every single one of those dots is at 20. So we were bouncing off of 20. That was consolidation from September of 2022 all the way. This is November 23rd of 2022, and then we jumped up a little bit. So still in fear, but more in the 25 to 30 area. And then you can see we started to move. This is the first time we got out of fear in like a year. And that was in January, and you know the run we had. So this was a big run up in Bitcoin right here. And now we're actually even higher than that, but none of this. So these are technically considered, this is technically considered greed. So if I go back up, you'll see 61 is greed. But, you know, in a bull market, we get into the 80s, sometimes 90. So we got all the 60s to go through, potentially the 70s to go through, and maybe we pop up even into the 80s at some point. And I'm not, again, I want to be clear, I don't think that's just in a straight line from here. I don't think it's 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. You know, we're going to bounce around a little. We're going to have pullbacks somewhere. There's pain in this game. You know, there's no free ride, as everybody here probably knows, having done this for a period of time.
I'm looking for the free ride.
But to me, this is extremely encouraging. You can see this trending upward. Now, at some point, when we're at you know, when we're 3 weeks into being 85 on the greed index, you know, I can tell you, I will either have been taking a lot of profits by then or buying a lot of put options or selling a lot of call options or whatever the case may be, because, you know, we've seen there's giant swings in both directions with Bitcoin in particular. Well, not even in particular, with all of the cryptocurrencies. They're more volatile than anything I've ever seen in the stock market. Mike said, we will see 40K Bitcoin before. Will we see 40K before 25K? So that's the $1 million question. Let me end this poll and start a new one, because it looks like we got some good participation. About 2/3 of the people don't care about the Dow. That makes sense to me. I don't care about the Dow. It tells me nothing anymore at all. But, you know, I guess it depends on how you're trading. So thank you, everybody, for participating in that poll. Poll over. George, you got another poll?
No, I am, sorry, I was looking at my emails for a second.
All right. George
What's
is
a good poll?
multitasking.
What is a good poll? What is a good poll?
Well, our normal poll, and Mike just asked it, are we going to get to 40 first or 25,000 first? Did you hear that they want to restart FTX? Like, who would ever put money in that exchange again? I heard that from George at lunch today. I don't know where George heard it from, but yeah, I just heard
what was that? What was that statement? Say that again. About
restarting what? FTX.
June 1st. They restart on June 1st.
Martin's asking who would put money in that?
I know.
After the fiasco that it was. I'll tell you who won't put money in it. I can only speak for myself. I would not touch that with a 10-foot pole.
It doubled already, even though it's not really trading. But yeah, June. I think it was June 1st. It's going live again.
Duckman said Mara ? So I mean, I think Marathon's got a long way to go to the upside as well. Marathon's the second biggest market cap right now, and Riot and Marathon have switched places over time. And if Marathon executes their plan the way that they say they're going to by the end of the year, it's highly likely they will be the biggest market cap. But either way, Riot and Marathon are so many multiples bigger than all the rest of these companies. But I do think they both have still a lot left to run to the upside.
I guess I don't know. I was thinking one of the question, is it me? Am I the only other person that likes to play with other altcoins? Or are you guys, you know, just in Bitcoin miners or just Bitcoin?
All right, let's do.
I think. I mean, because I love there's some funky coins out there that I love, and I'm just curious if I'm the only one playing I'm sorry, I know you hate me for Doge, but I made a lot of money off of these things. Would you put your money back into FTX? LOL.
So I'm not going to put. I'm going to say, what crypto are you investing in? And this is going to be other than Bitcoin, because obviously we know we're a very heavy Bitcoin-oriented channel. So Ethereum.
Yeah, altcoins in alt season, but not in Bitcoin season. But to me, it always seems like the season for Bitcoin and altcoins kind of run not together, but like when Bitcoin goes up, it seems to pull everybody else up.
It does pull everybody else up, but right now, and I'll see if I can find it, the Bitcoin dominance is on the run right now. For as long as that keeps running up, I'm going to stay towards Bitcoin, but there will be a point where that flips, and it'll be time for altcoins. I'm not sure when that is. Give me one more. Anybody tell me one popular. Oh, I know which one.
I would get. What did you say, Pulse or something? Because most of these are down 95%.
So I may have spelled any of this incorrectly. That's just how I do it. I
use Uphold. Mike, I use Uphold to purchase.
I should have put none. I should have put none to see if just people are not interested. Should I cancel this and redo it and say none? I'm doing it. I'm canceling it. I'm canceling it. And I'm going to go like this because now I got it. Now it makes sense.
I think I'm going here soon. Back? Am I going here soon? Yep, I'm going here soon.
All right, I'll get this poll up before you go. So, do you buy altcoins? Do you participate in altcoins? And then I'm saying Ethereum, XRP, small coins, which would be all the rest of the altcoins. And I know that there's still some big coins left. Or no, are we not? Is this group just not buying altcoins, either right now or ever?
I'm thinking about making $1 million investment into coins, cryptocurrencies.
Across a spectrum of different cryptocurrencies?
Yes.
So drop in the comments. Anybody who's heavy into a cryptocurrency, let us...
But wait. Yeah, I didn't finish this. I need to borrow $1 million first.
Please stop it.
Anybody else?
You're going to leverage.
And I'm going to tell you what we're going to do.
If we make money, you get that.
If we make money, okay, I'll be nice enough to take half of the profits. No. I'll give you back 25%. Luna.
All right, let me see. I fell behind. Shiba, Bitcoin XRP, said Jeff.
Did you read, Mike? That's so true. Happy wife, happy life.
That's a fact.
I guess it's Zoner, George. I just joined the chat, but I just wanted you to say, please sell your any position. I'm happy into any stock. Call option would love. Another huge move tomorrow. I know it would probably.
That was
George is borrowing a lottery ticket.
That was a coincidence. That just so happened to happen. It was bad timing. It was bad luck.
I almost bought back in, but I just cannot. I cannot buy back in yet. I don't think I'm out forever. Advice,
but I'm holding my Annie. That's all I can tell you.
I think what I'm going to do when I buy CleanSpark again, I'm going to immediately start selling options.
So yeah, sell options. That'll keep you. You like to be active in this stuff. So the buy and hold thing for you, I don't know how you did it with XRP. That's the one thing on earth you've been methodical about.
And I wasn't methodical until it got to the low price, by the way, guys. I wasn't methodical at 80 cents in 2021. Was not, or $2 or $3.
Raymond is saying 1 million into FTT. Matthew is saying VRA has a real 1,000x potential. Look into it.
I will. Thank you.
Yep. I'll write that one down.
See, that's why I talk to you guys, because Tom and I, well, I'm more Tom than me, because he's the pro and I'm the Joe. He'll go, George, if we take and we go in 10 coins and one of them hits, it doesn't matter. You made it. If they do a 1,000x.
Because, it doesn't even have to 1,000x. If you go into 10 coins and one of them 50x's, you're a million miles ahead. So, CleanSpark Whale, SPBC. That sounds more like a stock than a coin. Is that a stock? SPBC. I'll look it up.
Well, there is a reason. I have a reason why I think FTX is coming back, by the way. I have but it's, put your tinfoil hat on.
Buckle up.
Yeah, it is. And I'm telling you, I bet you I'm right because it makes sense.
CleanSpark Whale, let me know if this is what you're talking about. Also, CleanSpark Whale, why aren't you saying CleanSpark?
No, ETF or Roth.
What do you think of this? Oh, okay. All right. Then that, I guess you just answered the question.
Tom, what happens if they consolidate the 401ks to offset the debt of the United States? Is there a chance they could do that?
No.
No. Okay. I don't know. People always say because there's like a lot of money in the 401ks.
They're not doing that.
I never even heard of VRA. Have you, Tom?
I don't think so. What do you think of this ETF for a Roth? So I'll have to dig into it deeper. I do, if you've got a Roth IRA, I do love the concept of a Roth IRA. If you don't have one, you can look into one and ask your financial advisor or whatever the case may be. But it still feels new to me, but I guess they've been around a long time now at this point.
I'll be watching, but I gotta go. But I'll be on the stream. You know,
George, thanks so much for joining us.
Guys, see ya.
See you later.
Cleanspark to the moon. See ya.
See ya. All right. Yeah, I wasn't sure we were going to get George at all. This was last second. So I'll look into this. I don't know, but I will tell you, I love the Roth IRA. You know, and anything. If you've got a regular IRA, if you've got a 401k, I think it's very good to put money aside. So, and if you've got one that you can control and trade in, that is even better. That's what I do. So, but for some people, you know, they might be better off just letting it sit in a general fund and see how it goes. FV702, what are we expecting tomorrow with bank earnings? Yeah, I mean, for a while, I thought bank earnings were going to be a big, big factor this week. But now I'm thinking I'm not as worried about it. We've already had so much bank panic, and I'm not expecting awful earnings either. So I guess we'll have to wait and see. And it's that time. I think tomorrow and then I think next week I should pull up the chart. But yeah, we got a lot of bank earnings coming. But to me, those never. I know we're in the middle of a banking thing, a banking situation, a banking crisis, if you want to call it that. I'm not as worried about it probably as most people are for whatever reason. And you know, the big banks do their thing. Also, the Fed window is open. They've made it perfectly clear. So I don't think I feel like they've taken that potential panic out of the way. I'll tell you this, if it creates some short-term downward pressure, I'll use it as a buying opportunity. So, I mean, at some point, something is going to be the excuse for a little bit of a correction. I feel like we're overdue for a correction. So while I do think in general the bull run continues, some type of pullback or retest, or, you know, the alternative is, I mean, we had this very long, this was sideways. So, you know, a lot of times you go down and have a big pullback and retest. This time we just spent 3 weeks going sideways, and that is painful. You guys remember, like, people were pulling by around here, people were getting very nervous and uncomfortable. So we got that consolidation, and maybe, you know, I don't know if we're starting to see that again. I mean, this line held and we went right through this and never retested it. Now we've gone right through this. These were big, big, important lines as far as I'm concerned, and we zipped right through them. So we'll see. But I don't believe the banks are gonna. I don't think that's gonna put a dent in it. But you never know what the market uses as an excuse to take profits. Brent said, I love putting this stuff in Roth, Cleanspark whale. Yes. I liked, CleanSpark Well said, I like this ETF because it's about 85% S&P 500 and 15% grayscale Bitcoin. So, all right, so that's the cheat sheet right there. So, yeah, I like that a lot, for, especially for a Roth IRA. I regret not buying in when grayscale was at almost a 50% discount. I'm kind of kicking myself because I do think ultimately that's going to be an ETF, and that discount's going to go all the way to 0. So in addition to the run up on Bitcoin, you get an extra 50% push on that disappearing. So that hasn't happened yet, and there's no guarantee of that, but already that discount is much, much, much less than it was. So you would have already made a lot of money on both the move up on Bitcoin and the reduction of the discount. Brent said, read Creature from Jekyll Island and you will be more bullish Bitcoin. Is that a book? It sounds like a book. You're saying read it. I'm not familiar. Darren's saying if there's a banking earnings scare tomorrow, it's probably healthy for Bitcoin. Yeah, I mean, at some point, I don't disagree. It's like a pullback is not the end of the world. We just want to hold some important lines of support. Brent said, I have the Canadian Bitcoin ETF. So Brent is in an actual Bitcoin ETF because Canada does have an ETF, whereas the United States is lagging behind, and they've said no probably 30 times. And Bitcoin miners heavily represented in my Roth. More YOLO, but find your balance. CleanSpark, well, I don't buy the Bitcoin miner ETF. CleanSpark, well, I'd rather pick and choose the miners I put in my Roth. So, and it depends. Like, you may have the time. That's definitely a big factor. If you have enough time, and it doesn't have to be a full-time job, but especially if you're focused on, you know, one industry like Bitcoin miners, if you have some companies you know a lot about, you feel great about, you think they're going to be the winners, I try to keep it diverse. You know, I don't ever get down to just one Bitcoin miner. But I did shrink. I got much smaller, you know, when things started to head south. I had like at least 8, maybe at one point 10 Bitcoin miners in the bull run, and I shrank that down to 4. So Bitcoin's looking strong. Only 21 million. No need for Lightning. Let's go back to the 15-minute just to see what's what. So you can see kind of we had some downward pressure into the end of the trading day. So in the U.S., this candle, this little red candle right here, that's when the market closed. So, you know, the last maybe hour of the day, there was a little downward pressure. So as good as this board looks, it was actually much better an hour before the market closed. So we had, and then we had a pullback right after the market closed, and now we've pretty much made all of that back up. So we'll see what tomorrow brings. I would like to think tomorrow we get, I mean, we're just right now, we are 1.7% away from having a 100% move up off of the bottom in Bitcoin. So that would just be a nice victory. And it's been a spectacular week. There was one red day in the middle, so you never know. So for me, the indicators, Jeff's asking how the indicators are looking. It's sometimes this gets very ambiguous. Sometimes these things are screaming at you, and a lot of times, like right now at the moment, in my opinion, a lot of things look like, you know, it wouldn't surprise me if we go retest, but I do still think, and we're on, oh, the 15-minute, I don't even look at those, but like, this is the RSI on the 1 day. So this line I had put, and I said, I think if we hold this line, we're going to have a nice run up. So we did hold this line. We retested it a bunch of times, and then we had a nice run up. So I felt good about that. But now, you know, we're hanging around at 70, which is typically considered, you know, the edge of overbought. But you can see we did get up near 90 back in January of this year. So, you know, just a few months ago, we were pushing 90 on the daily RSI, and I think there's room to run. So I think there's a lot of room left to run here. And then we've already had, so if you look at this, so this is today. So 2 days ago, we had a bullish crossover on the daily MACD. So, you know, to me, that looks good. This looks healthy. This looks like, you know, maybe over the next few weeks, we should have more upward momentum. If just based on this one thing. Now, if I look at the 4 hour, I go, I don't know. You know, maybe the next few weeks look good, but I'm not sure about the next 24 hours. That could go either way, in my opinion. But again, I know I try not to play these on a 24-hour or 48-hour basis, even when I do call options. I'm usually out, you know, 60 or 90 days, sometimes 120 days, just to give a little time, because you just don't know what's going to happen. Methodic, Darren S. I've made more after-tax money this week than 2015 through 2021. Very nice. Congratulations, Methodic. This week, that's a big week. I mean, I had a nice week, but I didn't have that kind of week. That's a good week. Darren, love the success stories. Yeah, everybody, please, anybody. It's always nice for the group to hear success stories, and I know a lot of you guys are having success. I'm going to end this poll. Let's see. So what did we say? So the majority of this group is not necessarily into altcoins. Ethereum 11%, XRP 5%, all the rest of the altcoins 20%, and then 64% said nope, not doing altcoins. So this tends to skew a Bitcoin crowd. I gotta admit, I'm the same. You guys know George is a big XRP person, so I've spent a lot of time looking into XRP and Ethereum. I haven't gone too much further than that, other than the stable coins. But I'm not invested in any altcoins. None. Brent said probably the best quarter I've ever had. Raven, it's not over. Hashtag Stronghold, SDIG. Yeah, Stronghold was big today. And I'm going to pull this chart up because at one point, if I remember correctly, so Stronghold closed here yesterday, right? We gapped on the open, but this was yesterday's close. So at one point, this was up 36% on the day. And I mean, it finished up 23%. So it's not like that's a bad day. That's a phenomenal day. This is what I'm saying. Like the last hour of the day, a lot of these pulled back off of their highs, and we're still left with a day. I mean, I haven't really run the chart down, but, you know, Bitfarms just under 14%, Hut 14%, Hive 12%, CleanSpark almost 21%. Riot was kind of a lagger, but, you know, that's the biggest market cap of all, and it was up 9%. Marathon was up 15.78%. That's the second biggest market cap. Those are getting to be sizable companies. Let's put it this way. Riot's market cap is now as big as all of the Bitcoin miners put together 4 months ago. So that's how much we've grown in the last 4 months. Now, the opposite was true. We, you know, went down so drastically over the course of a year or a year and a half. But we seem to be headed in the right direction and on the mend. Cypher up 12%, Iris Energy 15%, Bit Digital 16%, Gree another 24%. Stronghold, which we were just talking about, 23%. Core Scientific 16.8%. It was higher than that earlier. Even DigiHost was up 12%. So Argo Blockchain was up 4.3%. I think that was the lagging stock of the day, it looks like, unless I'm missing something. And then MicroStrategy, which I think my head might be blocking in this, the way we do this view. So let me see if I can do there. So you can see MicroStrategy was up 5.5%. So, you know, it's not the same type of leverage as the Bitcoin miners are, but it's at $340. That is a good run. So, you know, this has been a good week. Jeff said Riot, Cypher, CleanSpark, Mara. Todd said we lost about 200K from 1121 to 323, but we got about 65K of it back this week. So sorry about the 200, but that's a nice week getting 65 back. That's massive. Raven said, Tom, I can't believe you don't own any crypto. I know. I'm so focused on the leverage that the Bitcoin miners are giving me. And the other thing is, and I will buy Bitcoin, and I probably will buy Ethereum, and I probably will buy XRP. I like Polygon. So, I mean, I'm looking. There's some that I spend time looking at. I haven't bought any yet because I just took the whole leveraged ride down with these Bitcoin miners. I'm not going to get out of them now and miss the leveraged ride back up, which is what I believe we're in for over the next, 18 months. But I would like to diversify, so there's some altcoins that I have interest in, but I don't think it's altcoin season just yet. Brent said, Jeff, I swapped Riot for Iris Energy. Tough call. Yeah, I mean, I think if you look, so I'm going to go back to Riot's up 298% on the year. So Iris is not that far behind it. 236%. I mean, these are some big winners already. And remember, this is from January 1st, 2023, not from their lows mostly in late November or December. They had their lows, and a lot of them were significantly lower. Like, I'm going to go, Core Scientific's up 504%, and Cypher's up 373. But if we go look at their charts, so that's year to date. If we go look at from their lows, so if you look at Cypher from its low, which was December 29th. So from that point until now, 598%. Today, it did get as high as 645%. So that is Cypher. And what was the other one we were going to look at? So, year to date, 373, which is still spectacular. And then Core Scientific. Let's see what that's done from the bottom. See, this looks like nothing. You might say. I mean, look at this gap down, but we know what happened here. I mean, they filed Chapter 11, so that is a game changer. Okay, so they bottomed out on January 3rd. So if I go from there to here, they're up 1,000%. 1,000. So I should take a picture of this and make it my thumbnail for every video from now on so that, nobody can ever tell me that it's clickbait ever again. Here you go. This is a 3.5 month run. It's up 1,000%. And it really had a 1 month run up 1,100%. So it's only now just starting to get back to that point. So that's a 10, that's 10x, 11x, 12x. I mean, these this is what I'm saying, and I get excited about it, but it's a big opportunity, and I don't like when people say, oh, it's FUD and that's not going to happen, and then I can't tell you, I have hundreds or thousands of comments. These stocks are all garbage. They're all going to zero. Everybody's going to lose all their money. You're an idiot. You're this, that, the next thing, some a lot less nice than that. And I don't care. I don't care. I'm just saying, for the rest of us here, for the members and for the subscribers and the people that watch, I hate that FUD being thrown at all you guys in addition to myself, because here's 1,000% move right here. So the next time somebody asks you, does this ever happen? Here, Core Scientific was up 1,000% in 1 month. 1,000%. Chris Dominator, I sold all Mara. I can't believe it. So you're expecting a red day tomorrow, so that would not shock me either. We had 2 big green days, then a red day on Wednesday, a big green day again today. So Friday's a lot of time. 2022, that was the theme. Fridays were red. It was not good. So that could happen to us again tomorrow. I certainly wouldn't be surprised. I hope it does not, but it certainly could happen. Brent is saying, I'm thinking more CleanSpark waiting as the year progresses. Alex, you're on 24/7 now, LOL. Welcome, Alex. Welcome to the stream. I know, I did my daily Bitcoin miner update as a live stream because I spent so much time updating my charts that it got too late to do it the other way. So, I like the live streams anyway. I have fun talking to everybody directly instead of having to do it in a video. I don't know what that was. I just got some kind of alert. All right, I closed that out. All right, so we're 30,337 right now. Also, I think I've gotten a lot of questions / complaints that when people rewatch or watch the live stream after, so it's not live anymore, but you can still go watch the live stream. For some reason, YouTube was not showing the chat. And even though that was all selected, it was not showing it. So tech did do something that I think is going to fix that. So you guys can let me know if that did fix that. So on the last live stream and on this live stream, the second we're done, somebody should be able to rewatch it and have all the chat simultaneous with it. That's the way it's supposed to happen. And I have always said it that way. I don't know why. A lot of times for the first 24 hours, YouTube doesn't show the chat, but I don't know why. And I don't know how tech fixed it, but he said he did. So we'll see. We'll see if it's true. Jeff saying, I wouldn't even advise anyone to sell outs because you really need to be deeply involved and not outs puts. I mean, selling puts, yes. Selling options is just by its nature riskier than buying options, right? It's very simple to quantify your risk when you buy options. It's however much you paid for them, that's your risk. When you sell options, there's a different equation altogether. So for those of you who know what you're doing, there's money to be made. But that is not options 101. That's advanced. So, yeah, please be careful with options. But I know a lot of people do very well with options. So, for those of you who know how to do it, congratulations. Hope you're making money. Raven said, I got a great position in Wolf. Thanks to Tom. Easy double already. Outstanding. I'm very glad. A lot of people, I don't know how that I did 2 Wolf videos, and thankfully they did well and got out to a lot of people. And I will tell you, I had to disguise them because if I had called them a Wolf video, other than a few of the diehard subscribers and members, the rest of the world, first of all, YouTube wouldn't push it to the algorithm and it wouldn't even show it to people. That's my biggest problem. If I do, so that's why if you see me with titles that are ambiguous or look like clickbait, that's what YouTube spreads. So when I don't do that, it doesn't show my video to anybody new. And then, you know, obviously I can't. So Raven got to, you know, get a heads up on Wolf and did his or her deep dive and made a bunch of money. And that's the whole point of all this. So I'm glad. Thank you. I love hearing that. So congratulations. Wouldn't it make sense to sell covered calls rather than sell if you think we're in for a correction? That's from His Honor. So, I mean, that would be a legitimate strategy, sell covered calls. Right? That way, the only way you really lose out on that, well, there's two ways. Versus if you sell outright, you know, if it drops more than you made selling the covered calls, then you'd be ahead by selling. But I can't play the game get in, get out, get in, get out. So I'm more inclined to do what His Honor just said, which is, you know, sell covered calls if I think that a pullback is coming. Stephen English said it did fix it. So I think this is about the chat. I was watching the earlier live stream before this one started. So, okay, so we did. A bunch of people recommended, and I didn't know that was even going wrong. So I don't know what was done, but thanks to tech for fixing that problem. Alex said, George in tears after selling CleanSpark yesterday. Please, Tom, help him from himself. George is... Everybody has their strengths and their you know, things that they're great at and things that maybe they're not so great at. I don't know why. XRP, George has been like clockwork, methodical, and George was on the stream earlier and he's gone right now. So, you know, for XRP, he has that conviction and he held on to it. In the stock market, I think it's just in his head. I think, you know, some people are like, I'm bad at math, but they're not really bad at math. They just think they're bad at math. So, also, I know it's not affecting his, you know, he's not playing with money that he can't, I shouldn't use the word playing. He's not using money he can't afford to use. So, you know, when it's more just him being mad at himself that he didn't win or lose versus, you know, impacting his life. But it would be nice, you know, from as long term, he makes his money a lot of other ways, but it's always nice to make your money in the stock market. Certainly better than losing it. And so, and I think we talked about today potentially doing a head-to-head $10,000 each, just a head-to-head, just, you know, for fun, to see whose portfolio does better starting like now till the end of the year. So we talked about that today, so I haven't talked to him in person since then, but I think that might be fun. And it might help both of us really focus in, because I can tell you when winning or losing is on the line, I know I'm very competitive and I know George is very competitive, so that might be fun. Good night, FV702. Thanks again. Trying to catch up. Ricky2416 said, I love the clickbait. Thank you, Ricky. And I do, for those of you that have been on the channel for a while, you will know there's a lot of inside jokes on what looks like clickbait. So if you're a subscriber, you probably know what I'm doing. And, you know, I try to have fun with it. So every once in a while, some people get mad about it. But I don't think I'm dragging people there on something that's, to me, clickbait is saying, you know, you're going to talk about one thing and then just talking about something totally different. So I try and mix it up and do plays on words and that kind of stuff. But in any event, it's what I have to do. That's how YouTube works. Raven said, thanks, bro. No problem. You're welcome. And thank you. Thanks for watching and congratulations on a good investment. Cleanspark well said, y'all like the video. If you haven't, Tom puts in a lot of work. Least we can do is give him a like. Thank you, Cleanspark Whale, for mentioning that. I forgot to ask. So yes, I appreciate it. If anybody can smash the like button, that always helps the live stream and it helps the channel overall. Cleanspark Whale, you should do a head-to-head with George. So we're thinking about doing that. We're thinking about just doing, you know, he'll do a $10,000 portfolio and I'll do a $10,000 portfolio and so we got to figure out exactly what the time frames and terms and all that is going to be. It's not going to be a bet for money. It'll be a gentleman's bet to see who wins. It's for pride. But I think, you know, if we started that sometime in the next couple of weeks and ran it through the end of the year, I think that would be interesting to check in on every week. And see who's winning, or if we're both losing, you know? Let's just see. Methodic bought more of the worst miner ever. So, yes, thank you, Methodic. That was one of my headlines. I know I think I said something like, I just bought the worst Bitcoin miner. And, you know, it sounds like clickbait, but at the time, from a stock standpoint, it was in last place out of all the Bitcoin miners by a mile. So that, and those are the charts, like, you know, it's this chart. So there was a time where, and now, where is it now? We're here. Wolf's up 128% now. Wolf was red when I did that video. Wolf was in the deep red. And so, you know, looking at this chart, I mean, these are just the facts. They're not my facts. They're the facts. That was the worst performing Bitcoin mining stock by far at that time. But obviously, I did like the stock, and I thought there was a lot of potential. And obviously, a lot of you guys also agreed with me. And fortunately, I think a lot of people made some really good money on this run up. So that's everything going just right, in my opinion. That's how this should work. You know, we're not going to win on everything, but, you know, we'll take the wins when we get them. So congratulations to everybody that was in on that one. Duckman said, great channel, Tom. Well done. Thank you. I appreciate it. Loser buys lunch for a week. That's fair. It's very hard to buy lunch when you're with George. I have two people. My older brother is the same way. I haven't paid for a thing with my older brother in, I won't say how many years, but in a lot of years. So but that's a good one. Loser buys lunch for a week. That's fair. Are the 10K portfolios going to be transparent to subscribers? Cleanspark Whale asked. So that's what I want to figure out. I definitely, at least on a summary basis, I want to show everybody how we're doing. Otherwise, you know, what's the fun in it? So that's the kind of stuff I got to figure out. Chris Dominator, my call, Bitfarms will not be $3 this year. Okay, so he's putting a cap on Bitfarms, saying it's not going to get to $3 this year. I feel like Bitfarms can get to $3 this year. And I think it's on the verge of a run. Not to $3, but it's still, even at $1.25, it's still fighting with $1. There are still a group of people out there that think they're going to push this under $1 and not let them get that 10 days in a row. And they could be right. So we'll see. It's only 2 days into that run. So, but I do think once we get past that, we're going to get one more nice bump up in Bitfarms. And it may take a while to get to $3. But I think ultimately my ultimate price target is much, much, much higher than $3 for Bitfarms. You know, so as to when, I don't know. Jedi Knight, hello. Hey, Tom. Great week. Money bags so far. Any plans for TerraWolf interview? Trying to do some diligence on Wolf and figure out exposure ties to Celsius and if that helps or hurts. So I have to reach out to Paul. I've been a little sidetracked because I have, I'm traveling to a funeral this weekend. So I got a lot of different stuff going on because of that. So this is not a normal week for me at all. But we are going to do an interview, you know, unless he refuses, which I can't imagine why he would. We are going to do an interview with Paul Prager from Wolf. So I'll try to get that lined up as soon as possible. And I feel bad also with Matt at CleanSpark. We've been going back and forth, and I keep missing my window of opportunity. So those are the two. I don't even want to think about a third interview until I get these two done, because I did say I would reach out to Paul, and you know, Matt and I are still trying to put a day on the calendar together. And I did send something to investor relations at MicroStrategy. I have not heard back from them yet. I'm not holding my breath, but you know what? There was no reason not to send them a message. So, you know, that would be the one whammy. Obviously, if Michael Saylor's willing to come on, I will make time whenever it takes. Brent said only 10K. What? Oh, only 10K on the challenge? 10K that's real money. So I think that puts something at risk. Obviously, it's, you know, not life-changing money, but you know, we don't want to put life-changing money up at risk. But I think it's worth. I think a 10K versus 10K challenge is worth watching. His Honor said, still waiting for an interview with Frank Holmes from Hive. So I talked to Hive. Frank was out. He's trying to let Iden do those interviews because he is now the CEO of the company. And Frank stepped back as CEO, but he's still the chairman of the board. And he is still out there. So I did a Hive interview recently, and obviously, as it turns out, nobody's nearly as interested in hearing from Iden as they are in hearing from Frank. So I don't know. Maybe the next time I'll talk to Frank instead. I do like talking to them one at a time because both of them have an awful lot to say. So the times that they came on together, I felt like I had a hard time getting a word in edgewise. So Jedi Knight, my condolences. Thank you for the interview. You're welcome. Hey, Tom, are you American or Canadian? I am American, but I will tell you that I grew up in upstate New York, just about an hour from the border. So East Coast, but it was about an hour to the border to get to Niagara Falls. And also, you know, we were on Lake Ontario, and there was a ferry for a while, but it failed massively. That essentially, if you're in Rochester and you go straight across Lake Ontario, you end up in Toronto. So that was supposed to be a big thing, and it failed miserably due to poor planning, as far as I can tell. So yeah. So I'm in Florida now. But I grew up in way upstate New York. Seth, welcome, Seth. Seth said, I would love to participate in the 10K challenge with you guys. All right. Challenge accepted. Oh, that's putting some extra pressure on. I know Seth knows what he's doing. So, making it interesting. And Raven said 10K is considered a large lump sum. Yes, I agree. I think that's a fair CleanSpark whale. It would be fun to do a 10K challenge with subscribers too. You want to do a separate different one? I tried and failed miserably last year on my 10K challenge. It's still open and slowly gaining ground back because I don't want to close it out. Brent said, I misinterpreted Whale's comment. I was thinking 10K winners in the space to celebrate, or any winner. Let's celebrate a bit. Yeah, we should all be celebrating. Share your success stories. I know a lot of people made really good money so far this week. I know the week's not over yet, and we did have Chris Dominator weigh in and say he thinks tomorrow's going to be a big red day, so we'll see what happens. I'm going to remain optimistic because that's been working for quite some time now. His Honor said last Hive interview was a bit disappointing, so, I mean, I can't... I understand. I will just say, let me just say that. I understand that comment completely. So, we'll see. We'll see if we can get Frank on. Frank gets a little technical, and I know those guys love their deep data and their statistics and all that stuff, and it can get a little dry, I guess is what I would say. So I feel that. I was feeling that. But you know, they are very knowledgeable. I will also add this. I'm not sure why they have not put out their monthly operational report. So Frank or Iden, if you're out there, let us know what is going on with your monthly operational update for the month of March, because it's late versus what you usually do. And they're the last ones. I want to do my monthly comparison of all the Bitcoin miners. All the rest of the top 11 or 12 that I use have all long since reported. And for some reason, I'm waiting for Hive. So if you're out there, we would appreciate it. Cleanspark Whale, I think about everybody watching had at least a 1K day today. You know, most people are heavy into the Bitcoin miners, so I'm guessing you're probably right, Cleanspark Whale. The vast majority, I'm sure there was a lot of 1K days, 5K days, 10K days. I think there were probably some 50K days out there, maybe more. This was day/week. This was a phenomenal week. So, you know, we should all be very happy. I hope all you guys participated. I hope this was a great week for everybody. I know it was for most of the subscribers and members here are here because we focus so much on Bitcoin miners, and they ran this week big time. Sammy said, Hive interview was fantastic. Loved it. Learned a lot. Thank you. All right, so Sammy liked the interview. Thank you, Sammy. I appreciate it. I understand both perspectives. It was a little dry, but also, you know, there was a lot of information in there. So, all right, how am I doing on time? Let me see if there's so did I go through? All right, so for those of you who missed, some of the stuff I wanted to go through, and normally this would just be my update that I did as a video. I'm doing it as a live stream because I ran out of time after I updated everything. So I just wanted to show people this week's been massive. So when I say it's a good week, this is just this week. So I say from last Friday, but in the US and Canada, Friday was not a trading day. It was Good Friday, and the markets were closed. So essentially from Monday morning until right now, this is what's gone on with the Bitcoin miners this week. Cleanspark, which was in last place of all the Bitcoin miners last week. So let me see if I have that. Okay, so this is as of last Friday. So you can see Cleanspark year to date. Cleanspark was up 20% on the year through the first quarter. So we were 3 months and 1 week into the year. Cleanspark was up 20% on the year. Dead last. Any was second last. So it's no coincidence that, you know, this is one of the charts that led me to to look deeper into any. I've been dollar cost averaging into CleanSpark forever. I just opened a position and I did buy a bunch more this morning. I put a limit order in and I got lucky because this started in the red and then went off to the races. So I got lucky and got some more any this morning. But my point was, CleanSpark was up 20% for the year, and now this week CleanSpark's up 61% this week. So, you know, that's why it's hard. That's why I don't try to time the market. Who knew, you know, looking at a calendar, that it was going to be this week? That, you know, if you held CleanSpark all year and you sold it this week, then you did nothing. And you missed the whole thing. So that's why I tend to buy and hold. And I'm still holding my CleanSpark because I think it's still got a long way to go. So it's up 61% this week. Grease having a huge week. Wolf's having a huge week. Riot, which is the largest market cap, is up 47% in 4 trading days. So, I mean, this is big. You guys know you don't find this necessarily in a lot of other industries where, you know, Riot's up 47% this week, and it's the 4th best stock in the space. So Stronghold's having a big week. Marathon, which is the 2nd biggest, up 44%. So you can see big moves. My Bitfarms that I've been struggling with, up 36%. So I'm not going to complain about that, particularly since if it can hold, this gets it over that dollar, and we can put that. We need 8 more days to put that behind us. So I'd like that to happen. That would be good. And then let's see. Let me go back to. So this says 4.7, but it's not 4.7. Oh yeah, actually that is 4.7. This is 4.13. So now look what difference a week makes when you take that 20% and add the 61% that CleanSpark was this week. Now you just can't add them together because remember, it's a multiplying effect. So CleanSpark is now, instead of in dead last at 20%, in less than 1 week, it's now up 93% on the year. So you can see, you know, this was a great week, and you can see why I think it still has room to run, because at 93%, it's still behind almost everybody. And there are some large market, and I'm not going to say large comparatively speaking, inside of this space. These are all small market cap companies, but some of the bigger market cap Bitcoin miners are having Riot's up 298% on the year. That's the biggest one. Cypher's up 373% on the year. That's the 3rd biggest Bitcoin miner by market cap. Marathon is the 2nd biggest. It's up 237%. I mean, these are massive moves to the upside. So this is what I was updating after the market closed today, and I just really wanted to get this out to everybody because I think it's important perspective. You can see, like, all year, I added all year to CleanSpark, and it was just one tough week after the next. And, you know, as of last week, I was still looking at this, and everybody, not everybody, I won't say that. There's a lot of CleanSpark fans, but there are a lot of CleanSpark haters. So I would do CleanSpark videos, and people would destroy me. But for me, I feel like, you know what? I waited, and this was my week. And for those of you who waited in CleanSpark as well, congratulations to you, because that was a long, hard wait. And I think, my personal opinion, I think there's a lot more to come. CleanSpark saying, CleanSpark Whale said, I'm going to continue adding when I can until at least $10. Work Obsession said, Bitfarms and HUD 8 are my biggest losses. Bitfarms is my biggest loss. It's not even close. HUD 8 is my 2nd biggest loss. Bitfarms and HUD 8 are my biggest losses. Still 30+% in the red. You had a good call with Any and Wolf, though. I bought some Monday because you recommended. live stream, and you were correct. So, Work Obsession, good job checking it out, doing your due diligence, and it sounds like you got in on both of those, and it was a good time to get in. I still feel good about both of those. I feel really good. I mean, you can see Eni is still almost in last place. It's still doing, a little better than half of what Bitcoin has done on the year. So I really think the next, and I don't know, I'd give it 90 days. You don't know. Like, this was CleanSpark's week. I don't know which one is going to be Eni's week, but I would say sometime in the next 90 days, I think there's going to be a very, very big move in Eni. That's my personal opinion. Daniel S. said, I bought CleanSpark just because of your data. Well, I'm glad. Thank you, Daniel. That's why I put the data together, and the numbers are the numbers, and that's what I'm trying to do. That's my biggest thing. I just try to, not everybody has time to sit here all day and put all these numbers together, and so I'm doing it anyway. I'm glad I get to share it with other people. You guys get to use it and make decisions with it, and that's what it's all about. And I love weeks like this, and I'm glad. It sounds like there was a lot of big successes this week. And if any of my videos had anything to do with helping any of you, I'm glad. That's the whole point of this. Darren, gotta go. Thanks. All right, have a good night. Brent, what about the Eni lawsuit? I know that was a headline splash, but it's such a small amount in the picture of what they're doing. I don't know what's to come of it. I expect nothing is to come of it, is my expectation. So, if it goes differently than that, if it goes better than that, then great. But I don't think it affects. They're about to have some serious performance, in my opinion. So I think stay tuned for their April and May monthly updates. I think those are going to be very good. Steven said, if Mara got back to all-time high in market cap, what would its share price be? So I am going to do a chart about market cap, but I also want to be very careful because, market cap has a lot to do, obviously, as companies dilute, their share price isn't necessarily the same at the same market cap. So I understand there's a difference there. Each one of those analyses has value, but I also worry, I feel like there's a monumental narrative that people discount dilution to zero. So in other words, like, for instance, this question that Steven is asking, if Mara were to get back to its all-time high market cap, for me, my price target for them is well past their all-time high market cap because of the, essentially the money that they raised, and now they're finally executing. So that dilution, I think, that was money in the door. And ultimately, I think all of that is going to be dilution because even all of their debt, they got rid of their other debt. The $700 and something million of debt is convertible debt, and it's convertible in the $70-something range. It's my opinion that that's going to get converted, which means I think that stock's going to take out its all-time high from a share price standpoint. So never mind what the market cap is going to be. And yes, the market cap will be larger, but it is going to be a much bigger, better company. So I want to find a way to do both of those things together, show the share price difference, show the market cap difference, and then talk about it. But it shouldn't be, if a company has done a good job raising money and they've done dilution, but it's been accretive and they're a much bigger, better company, then your goal should not be for them to get back to their old all-time high market cap because they took a lot more money in the door, right? If somebody raised $300 million, then if they did that right, they should be $300 million ahead of their old all-time high market cap because they got that much in cash. So unless they blew that cash, so if all they did was get cash to pay for operations because, they're so cash flow negative that was just survival, then you could say, you know what, that's not accretive. That's just, throwing good money after bad. But with companies like CleanSpark in particular, I think, the money that they've used for dilution they should get way, way past their previous all-time high market cap. And Marathon's in the same boat, and I think Riot's in the same boat. Those companies are very large companies now. So they should be multiples bigger than they used to be. But I will add that Steven's saying it's about $44. So I'll double check that, but that sounds right. Alex said you didn't help George. LOL. Well, you can lead a horse to water. And don't feel bad for George, because he has a lot of other successful transactions in pretty much everything else other than the stock market. So I won't speak on his behalf, but he's hit a lot of home runs in the last couple of years. So, you know what? He has some fun with the stock market and it doesn't always go the right way, but we'll see. Maybe he'll win the challenge. Maybe he'll turn it around. So DEFCON 2 is verifying at Stephen English, yes, around $44 to $47. CleanSpark Whale, isn't there like 20,000 S19s coming in until the big shipment starts in August? Yeah, so they've already bought and 100% paid for those 20,000. Those are coming in. Those will all be up and running before they even start receiving the next 45,000. So this is what I'm saying. Like, they're going to be, if they execute their plan as they have stated it, they're going to be at 15.9 exahash on September 30th. Now, I never expect things to go exactly to plan in anything. And certainly in the Bitcoin mining space, you know, that's a lofty goal. But even if it was to push out to October, November, December, if they get to 16 exahash sometime near the end of 2023, then in my opinion, that will have been a grand slam home run. And if they continue to be as efficient with their Bitcoin mining, because they're very efficient Bitcoin miners, so they get the most out of their miners. So they're going to be mining, you know, 1,000 Bitcoin or possibly substantially more than that, depending on what happens to, you know, the difficulty level in the meantime as well. So, yeah, I mean, I think great things are ahead for CleanSpark. I know there's an awful lot of people that strenuously disagree with that, so agree to disagree. Everybody's got their opinion, and only time will tell who's right. Steven saying thank you. You're welcome. DEFCON, you're welcome. I don't know for what, but thank you. Work Obsession saying, I just hope there's a future to cores, to be honest. I mean, I think it bodes very well for them that Bitcoin's in a... These companies make so much more money incrementally every dollar that Bitcoin goes up. The gross profit goes up disproportionately, right? Because if they're, whatever their break even is, and it's different for all these companies, but for the sake of argument, let's say, you know, let's say that Core Scientific was breaking even at $18,000. Well, with Bitcoin at $18,000, there was no money for them to pay their bills off. Bitcoin at $20,000, they were, you know, making $2,000 a Bitcoin. That's a very small gross profit. Bitcoin $30,000, they may now be making $12,000. That's 6x the gross profit. Even though the stock, you know, the Bitcoin didn't 6x, but their gross profit has 6x'd. So that's why these incremental increases are huge for these Bitcoin mining companies. And there are some Bitcoin mining companies whose cost is significantly less than that per coin. So there's some companies out there. 2023, it is my opinion that several of these companies will not only be cash flow positive, but they will have positive earnings in 2023. So that's my opinion. There's a lot to go between now and the end of the year for that to happen. Raymond is asking, what was George's reason for selling yesterday? I mean, I don't know what the answer to that is. He had a couple of things. He was worried about the Ethereum. The change in Ethereum was maybe going to hit all the entire crypto space. And he said on the stream that he does look at with some change in phase in the moon. So far be it from me. It was unfortunate timing. But we're taking it that George's loss was everybody else's gain. So we can thank George. He sold and everybody else made a killing. So when should the 20K S19 start to get plugged in? I think it might even be in April, but May, June, they're supposed to all be 100% plugged in by the end of July before they start getting the next shipment, because that next shipment of 45,000, if that goes as planned, that's coming in July and August. So before they even get to that, they should be at 9.0 exahash. And then they'll add all that on top of it, theoretically, if they, again, if they can stick to the plan. So I'm going to wrap it up in a minute because I'm getting late. Let's see. Nate said, I always made more in gold and silver miners than gold and silver. Same here. There's much more money to be made in Bitcoin miners than in Bitcoin. Both are important, but miners are a leveraged Bitcoin play. So, Nate, I agree with you. That has been my theory. For the Bitcoin miners that are successful in what they're doing and are effective and efficient, they should be a leveraged play. They always have been in the past. They were a massive leverage play to the upside in the last bull run. They were a massive leverage play, unfortunately, to the downside in the bear market / crypto winter of 2022. But now you can see in 2023, I mean, this is year to date in 2023 is what you're looking at, up 500%, 400%, 373%. So these are highly leveraged plays. You can see it's playing out that way already this year, right? This is a 6x leverage off of Bitcoin. And other than these two, which are lagging behind, and again, you got to look, is there a good reason or are they just not a good company? So, you guys got to make that decision for yourself. But yes, the good companies, the companies that execute well, should be leveraged plays. Even Bitfarms, which feels like it's been just awful, they're up 184% this year. That is a good year. So, I've been frustrated with my Bitfarms investment, and I'm nowhere near zero on Bitfarms. I got back to zero on Riot. I got back to zero on Cleanspark. I'm nowhere near zero on Bitfarms and a few others. So, I'm still hit or miss. Raymond, I'll share with you that on January 1st, I put my top 4 miners, and I will change this. So I do want to keep that top. I did a top 8 list. So I want to keep that list and see how it does over the year. But I am changing my mind over the course of time because, events are changing. So you got to reassess. But I will tell you on January 1st, my top 4 high conviction Bitcoin miners were Riot, Cleanspark, Bitfarms, and Hut 8. Now, Hut 8 has gone through a lot of changes since then. So I'm a little bit more up in the air on where they're at. They have a very strong balance sheet, so I don't think I've lost confidence in them. There are some others like Marathon that's been performing very well. Cypher's been performing. Marathon was my 5th place. It's probably going to be higher on the list. I think Cypher was my 6th. That's probably going to move up the list. Maybe, in the middle of the year, I'll make that list again. So Raymond's saying Marathon, Riot, and Cleanspark. To me, those are three high conviction plays, in my opinion. JR, nowhere near break even on Hive. That is another one. Yes. The only 2 I am either break even or plus on are Cleanspark, and it's just because I dollar cost averaged very heavy when they got down into like $1.50 or something. And I did dollar cost average heavy into Bitfarms as well, but and they got down to crazy stupid low numbers, but I'm still I'm just not back to zero yet, unfortunately. But we're going, you know, one at a time. They keep turning positive. So I feel like by the end of the year, I'll be in the green on everything, and we go from there, because then we got the halving next year. Crypto Craig said it's definitely going to beat its all-time high. CC0810CC said, any reason why my comment was removed about CleanSpark? So I don't know. I don't remove any comments at all. So I don't know. Let me see if there's, every once in a while it puts one on hold to be approved. And then sometimes YouTube just, if there was anything in there, if you used a 4-letter word or anything, sometimes YouTube just deletes it. So if you want to put your comment in again, I didn't delete it, but I know that happens. So let me look back and see if I can see if it's in the chat anywhere. Yeah, I don't even see it being held for approval. So it's just not here at all for whatever reason. So you're welcome to put the comment back in again if you want. But I can't help if it's something that YouTube considers vulgar, they edit it out without me even knowing. So I have no control over that. JR, the reverse splits are the, I think he meant to say, kiss of death. Well, and the two that did reverse splits last year, Hive did a reverse split. They weren't even under $1. They just wanted to get over $5. And DigiHost did a reverse split. Now, DigiHost went down mind-bogglingly, but I will tell you, they are recovering. Look, I mean, look at DigiHost this year's up 414%. CC said it was suggesting another YouTuber user to look at about CleanSpark valuation. Yeah, go ahead. Post it. Post it again. And let's see if it goes through this time. I don't even know how to delete a post if I wanted to. So I'm not deleting it. I know how to do that on the comments section in YouTube. But I almost, well, if somebody's pretending to be me, obviously I delete them. So scams and spams I delete. But other than that, you know, you can read my comments. I let people say whatever they want about me. Why did they go ballistic? I missed it. You're talking about DigiHost? Which one are you talking about? I mean, well, I mean, the flip side is, let's look at that chart. Because, I mean, there's two sides to that story. So, I mean, look at how much they got beat up. But, so if you look at this another way, this is where DigiHost was in August of 2022 when Bitcoin was at $25,000. Bitcoin's now at $30,000. So if you look at it from that perspective, you know, you could argue that, hey, it still has another 23% just to get back to where it was when Bitcoin was at 25,000. It really should be ahead of that theoretically. Now, a lot of changes happen in DigiHost, but look at the run from the bottom. So the bottom was January 3rd. So if I measure from that line to here, so that's almost 500%. And at one point, they were up 620%. So, you know, a 500 or 600% run here, that's a nice run. But just from, forget their all-time high, just from August, they were down 86%. If I go back to their all-time high, I mean, this was catastrophic. Right, that's somewhere 96%. And I'm still not to their all-time high. Yeah, so just for historical perspective, in February of 2021 to their all-time low, they were down 98%. So, you know, when you're down 98%, you can have a 500 6% run to the upside. And the thing is, this is why there's unique opportunity here. For the vast majority of companies, by the time they're down, you know, when a $10 stock turns into a 30-cent stock, 99 times out of 100, it's because it's going out of business. So they can do reverse splits and they can do whatever they want. But the reason they got there is the business fundamentals just aren't there. The cash flow isn't there. However, this industry, the Bitcoin mining industry, every single Bitcoin miner that's publicly traded in North America was down over 90% from their November highs to their lows. So they ranged from 91 to 99%. So this was just an industry that good, bad, indifferent, everything got totally destroyed. So inside of there were some big, big opportunities. And I don't think we're anywhere near done. I mean, you can look at DigiHost. Yeah, in the big picture, it's made its way all the way back to here. So now it's only down... You know, it's down 86 or 87% from its all-time high. And I'm not saying it's ever going to get back to this all-time high, but how about where it was in November of 2021 when Bitcoin was at its all-time high? It's still down, you know, 76 or 77% from there. So there's a lot of room left for these stocks to run, in my opinion, if Bitcoin can stay reasonably healthy. Work Obsession is saying, I don't think you can place links. I don't know. Maybe that. CleanSpark's Whale saying, I deleted it with my mind. But he's kidding. He did not. Unless he's not kidding. Maybe he has mind control powers and he deleted it with his mind. Yeah, so... Usually mods can place links, but no one else. So if it was a link, that's probably, I guess, what was happening. It's just getting auto-deleted because it had a link to it. Franco's asking, is another rate hike expected at this point? So I think it's almost a certainty unless some big piece of information or world event or whatnot happens. I think we're getting a 25 basis point rate hike. I think that's May 3rd. So... That's my opinion, but I'm extremely confident that that's what's going to happen. Here's what the market's pricing in. So if we look right now, the market's saying 67%, 25 basis point rate hike, 33% no rate hike. So 2/3 to 1/3. I will be surprised if they do 0. I will be surprised, and in addition to that, believe it or not, I actually think it would be a mistake on their part. If for no other reason than it was only a month ago they were talking about doing a 50 basis point rate hike. So if they swing all the way from doing more to doing nothing, there's some credibility. You know, if there's any credibility left, no offense to the Fed, they have a hard job, but if there's any credibility left, they kind of got to do a 25 basis point rate hike at this point. So I feel pretty comfortable that's what's going to happen. But you never know. I guess we'll know. Not never. We'll know on May 3rd. But that's my best guess. So Crypto Craig is saying hopefully 25 points, if any. Franco saying hopefully not. Crypto Craig 0 would be ideal. 50 I don't think would help. So I don't think there's any chance it's 50. If they do 50, they're the banking thing that I said is not a problem. You know, if they go and do a 50 basis point rate hike, that's going to cause a whole nother round of panic on the banks that they can't afford that, in my opinion. So I think that's off the table. It does look like the market thinks there's some chance that they're going to do 0. I don't think so. I remain... This has been what I think they're going to do all along, so I'm sticking to it. I think it's going to be 25 basis points. Then we're going to have a real question. Are they going to do one more after this or none? I do think we are very, very, very near the end of this process. So I don't know what the answer to that is yet, but I think we're going to get one more here and then either 1 or 0 more going forward. Sour Mountain Gaming said, is it possible for Core Scientific to come out of the bankruptcy without affecting shareholders because of how Bitcoin has gotten fairly healthy? So it is possible. I will tell you, and I haven't looked at it in a while, but I gave that a very deep dive look when they went into bankruptcy. The amount of debt they had was staggering. So it is absolutely going to depend. I think it depends more on the deals that they structure with their debtors that, or with the people that they owe money to, than it has to do. Obviously, the price of Bitcoin getting healthy helps them a lot. It helps them turn into a cash flow positive company. It helps them come out of Chapter 11. But I think it really is going to have a lot to do with whatever the final deal is they make on the better part of $1 billion that they owed. Because remember, they went public last out of pretty much everybody. They had already borrowed, in the neighborhood of $1 billion from almost everybody under the sun, and then they went public. So I'm not sure. But yes, it is definitely possible. Raymond says, thoughts on Iris Energy. I like Iris Energy. I don't own Iris Energy. Maybe I should do a video on that. They're making great progress. They had to make some big moves and big changes, but I thought they were good changes. A lot of people said, oh, it's a bad look for them, but you know what? It doesn't matter how it looks. It's about the money, and I think they did the right thing. So I like what I see there. CleanSpark said, well said, I just wanted CleanSpark to finish above $4 today. Well, we were very close. Maybe tomorrow. Brian, what the hey with Bitfarms? Well, listen, we got some progress on Bitfarms. We, up 13.6% at $1.25. It was up over $1.30 at one point. To me, I'm still watching. I want 10 days in a row above $1. And I do think it should run to $1.50. That's what I think is going to happen. But I could be wrong because there's enough bears out there that are looking to try and get this back under $1 still. The bears have not given up hope on pushing Bitfarms back under $1. So that battle will continue. It seems like the bulls are in control right now, and we're going to win that battle, and I think get over $1.50. But I guess we'll have to wait and see what happens. So I'm going to wrap it up, but congratulations to everybody. Thanks to everybody on the live stream today. Special thanks to all of the members. Special thanks to everybody who did a super chat. Congratulations. Hopefully it sounds like almost everybody, if not everybody, had a very good day today. So I hope you guys enjoy these giant green days. It's been a great week. And if we're lucky, we can keep running. Maybe 2023 is a different year than 2022. All right, so have a great night, everyone.